See this? This is what dropshipping gurus like to call a winning product. With over $100,000 in sales in 1 month and over $250,000 in total since July when I started this Shopify store, I've clearly found a winner. But I'm not interested in the revenue. Instead, I'm interested in the profit. Hi guys, my name is Meg and I'm on a mission to see if I can make $100,000 in profit in the first 6 months of running my print-on-demand dropship Shopify store. I'm gonna go over what I'm selling, what road bumps I've hit along the way, and if you stick around until the end, I'll show you the pure profit that I have made. So what is this product and how did I find it? Well, I can confidently say that 99.9% of you watching this already have this product in your home. This is not your typical unique dropshipping item. In fact, it's a graphic t-shirt. I'm going to show you that you don't need to have a unique item from AliExpress or Alibaba in order to be successful in e-commerce. If you're new here, let's catch you up to speed. Since July of 2023, when I first started this Shopify store with 0 sales, I have made $29,736.09 in pure profit. Yes, that is the money that I get to take home at the end of the day after running my Shopify store. So in this video, we're gonna break down exactly what my sales were, all of my costs, to see what my pure profit was for this past week. Let's break it down for the week of October 8th through October 14th. Let's look at October 8th. This was Sunday. I like to start the beginning of my weeks on Sunday. As you can see, we did $5,398.19, a pretty solid day revenue-wise. Our average order value was $44.28, which is up, which is lovely. And our conversion rate is hanging around where it typically hangs out. Our fulfill time looks good. It's 1 day and 10 hours. We always like this time to be as short as possible. That means that our printer for our print-on-demand products, which is t-shirts, is able to print and then ship our shirts out within 2 days, which is pretty fast. On Tuesday, we did $5,189.04 in revenue. We had an average order value of $45.85. Our store sessions went down. Conversion rate, again, sticking around that 2.6%. That's just where we tend to hang out. Our total orders are slightly down, and our time to fulfill increased. So not the best, but this is something that we'll look over the average for the full week to see really how much time it was, and if it's something that's really long, we would then reach out to our print-on-demand provider and see what's going on. On the 10th, we did $3,950.69 in revenue. Our average order value did go down, which is unfortunate, but things come up and things happen. E-commerce is not always as steady and beautiful growth as we would like to see. It does fluctuate from day to day and week to week, so it's something that hopefully we can work on, kind of getting into a more steady pattern with our sales. But in these beginning phases, couple of months, it's not uncommon to have up and down kind of days. So today was definitely a down day, but I'm not gonna let that hold me back from continuing to run this store. Which brings us to Wednesday. Again, we're up a little bit, $4,852.71. Average order value of 42.81%. Store sessions went up, which probably means that our Facebook ads did better today than yesterday. Conversion rate hanging out where it likes to hang out. And our time to fulfill, again, still a little too high for my liking, but that's okay. On the 12th, we did $3,783.49 in revenue, $39.13 average order value. Online sessions were up. Ads were definitely bringing people to the site. I just don't think they were buying, which kind of makes sense because our conversion rate is down from the norm, as well as our total orders. Friday, we did $6,021.16 in revenue, which is great. That's one of our highest days that we've had while running this store. Average order value was up That's beautiful. Online sessions went down, ironically. Conversion rate went up. And the reason for all of this is because we sent an email. We like to send at least 2 per week. We haven't been the most consistent with that, but this just goes to show that sending an email can really help, especially if you're giving some kind of discount. As you can see, the average order value went up significantly on this day, which is fabulous. That meant people were probably buying 2 items instead of 1. Our conversion rate increased because of this. Orders increased. So overall, great Friday. Can't complain about that. So Saturday, we were down almost 50%, which is unfortunate. Again, this is part of something that I don't think many people talk about. In the e-commerce space, people will show just all the growth that they've had. They won't show the bumps and the hiccups along the way. If I were first starting out on this, I would definitely feel discouraged, looking at, okay, yesterday I did great in sales and then today took a huge hit. But after being in the space for so long, I know that sometimes it's just temporary. It could be something off with your Facebook ads. They just weren't sending you the best traffic for your store. Yesterday, we sent a really good email campaign, which they can do up to $1,200 in sales. So that gets added. That's not getting added today. So a lot of things can affect your sales when you're first starting out. And I just want this to be like a PSA. Just don't let that discourage you from continuing to try and continuing to follow your dreams. It absolutely can work out. I'm not looking at this day as a failure that we're never going to bounce back and this is where our sales are going to sit. I know from yesterday that it's absolutely possible for us to continue to have 6K days. This, to me, I'm not too concerned. I'm not too scared about that. But for somebody who's looking into getting into e-commerce, just know that this is common, especially when you're first starting out and you're learning how to run a new store, you're learning who your customers are. It takes practice. It takes learning. For the overall week, we did $32,715.21. We are down over the previous week. Even though our average order value increased, which is great, overall store sessions were slightly down. 2.54% conversion rate, not too shabby. Total orders slightly down, and time to fulfill. This is why it's important. I look at it over the course of a week to get the average, because that one day it did say it was like over 2 days in order to like fulfill and ship out, like to print and ship one of our shirts. But for the overall week, we're looking at a 1 day and 22 hours, which isn't horrible. If this was continuing to be like over 48 hours, it was taking that long for them to print and ship, I would definitely want to have a conversation with our print provider to see what's going on. Were there out of stock issues and we were rerouted to another printer? Or was there some kind of hiccup? Did more people start printing with the printer that we use? These are questions that you should definitely have in mind if you're thinking about running a print-on-demand store. But let's get into the fun numbers and see how much profit I actually made. So for the week of October 8th through the 14th here, you can see that we have our income up top, which shows all the areas that we take money in. Our total sales from our Shopify dashboard was $32,715.21. We get our printer refunds. This is from Printify because we sell so many t-shirts that they give us a 5% rebate. And this is based off of the production costs for our t-shirts. So that just takes the production cost out of this printer invoice number down here. So that's $559.06. We get 2% cash back on our cost of goods as well as our ad spend for both Google and Facebook. That's where we spend a lot of money. That's where we get the majority of our traffic. The majority comes from Facebook, and then we're starting to trickle in more Google advertising. And as time goes on, we plan on adding TikTok in as well as other areas, but we're just taking it slow and adding more and more to the store as time goes on. I'm not trying to overwhelm myself and throw too much into it that like it turns into a spiral, because in the past, I've actually noticed that will hurt my sales more because I'm not focusing on my big picture items. So on that 2% cashback card, we made close to $500. And the beauty of that is it's tax-free. Those rewards basically go straight into my pocket. I don't have to pay Uncle Sam for any of it. Down here in our costs, this is everything that we spent money on this past week in order to run this store. Our printer invoice was $14,908.22. This goes directly to Printify for the printing of our shirts, the shipping of our shirts, and any tax that we need to pay. Our discounts and refunds, this is discounts that we give out for people to purchase. So in our pop-up window, as well in our sales campaign email, those will typically have a discount code. So refunds are if people don't like the product, if it came broken or damaged, we would give a refund for that. So we're looking at $3,461.24. Our Facebook ad spend was $9,632.08, and our Google ad spend again was $156, the exact that it was last week, ironically. TikTok, we aren't doing any ad spend there right now, so that's a zero. And then our merchant fees. So this would be our Shopify and PayPal fees that we pay just for using their platform as our processors. It's important to keep in mind, I don't think everybody thinks that through when they're looking into Shopify. Etsy has fees as well. So just know those fees ahead of time and know that they do dig into your bottom line. And the more that you do through them, the more fees that you're going to pay. So our total cost was $29,416.19. And our overhead expenses, which would be employees, any apps, basically all of the things that we pay for monthly for our store, like our Shopify subscription goes in here. It's about $588 per week for a net profit of $3,764 exact, which is a net margin of 11.5%. Overall, that's pretty good. I definitely am happy that we're in the positive this week, especially with the up and down that this week seemed to have. It just seemed like more of a roller coaster ride. But our cost of goods was 44.15%. Overall, pretty great, which leaves us to figuring out how much profit I have now made, and as well as how much I need to continue to make in order to hit my goal of $100,000 by January 31st of 2024. My goal is $100,000 in my bank account on January 31st of 2024. Overall, up until this week, I've made $29,736.09, which if we do some subtracting, that's over $70,000 that I would need to make in profit in order to hit my goal on January 31st. We subtract out the profit from this week, as you can see, and I have to make $66,499.91 before I hit my goal. So I still have a ways to go. I'm approaching that 50% mark, which is exciting. It definitely is taking some time and still taking work. Something that I think is important that everybody should know about before starting an e-commerce store is that it's not all rainbows and sunshine. You are going to have days where you're in the negative. I am still having those days. And I just want to say that it's normal and it absolutely happens. It does not mean that you're a failure in e-commerce or you're a failure in business. I have felt that I have failed multiple times to the point where I have thought I shouldn't be doing this anymore, that it's so hard and there's no way that I can make money off of doing this. Erase that from your mindset because you absolutely can. It is hard. It's not easy to do. And in the beginning, your sales fluctuate so much. But if you continue to try and you continue to add new things to your store, try new ad copies on Facebook advertising, you are going to get there. And I want to be that voice inside your head saying you absolutely can do this. As you could see from my profit reports, you can make money off of doing this. If you're watching very carefully your overhead expenses and you're making sure that you're running your ads pretty conservatively, you can show that you can make thousands of dollars week after week and actually make a living out of doing this. If you'd like to follow along on my journey to see if I can make $100,000 in profit by January 31st, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates from me. If you have any questions or you feel like you've struggled in the past with running an e-commerce store, write a comment in the comments section. I'll be sure to get back to you. know that you are absolutely not alone. We have all struggled in the e-commerce space. Even the people who have made millions off of e-commerce, they've all struggled from time and time again. It's a part of the learning process and it's a part of business. Don't let that discourage you. If you haven't seen any of my previous videos, check out this video here, and thanks for watching.